Alright. Hey there, viewers. Hey there, YouTube. This is a Talkbox Plays Warhammer with me, Zack, Crylord530, and Pat, MrBot.
Hello.
And we did a Warhammer video that was all basically just based around the DLC, because we've been playing the hell out of it, and we've been enjoying some stuff. We're definitely late on the DLC train. A lot has come out. And we just wanted to play some battles for you and show sort of what's going on with it. So we set up a whole little battle here where we're facing off against the beastmen. A lovely group of crazy units. We have giants, we have cygors, we have centaurs. And our unit setup was Pat decided to try out the vampire counts with some of their
the Grim and Grave deals. I got some of the Blood Knights, the new cavalry, the anti-large, and mostly cannon fodder and some of the new mortis engine units with Helming Horst as my general.
And we got some of these Blood Knights. They look real imposing with their crazy armor. I do like the design that they went with for a lot of these vampire units. They're just really impressive. And over here we have Helmand Gorst. Look at him in his corpse cart, looking very nice. And for me, I decided instead of a regular army comp, I was going to just fill my roster with Gorbull captains, which are these minotaurs just hanging around doing their thing. And you know, I think they're just very powerful units, and I've seen how powerful they are in, like, you know, combat in the campaign and stuff. And so we're going to see how that goes against a regular army of two armies of beastmen, and we'll play it out.
Should we start the play while?
Yeah, I just hit play on my end.
Slowly. All right.
So it's definitely a bit of a slow start, but we've tried a couple DLCs while this was going on. I mean, I've tried the beastmen, and I really enjoy their unit setup and how their whole how they're sort of set up to be like weird little guerrilla flankers and guys like that. And they have some really tough units later on, but most of their like early game units are, you know, very small and kind of interesting. And then Pat, you've been trying out the vampire counts for a bit. What do you think of the new units?
I've definitely enjoyed a lot of the new units, especially the mortis engines in particular, and some of the new spells provided by Helmand Gorst. He's a very flexible necromancer general, and the new cavalry for the undead, specifically the Blood Knights, have been very versatile and something much needed for the mostly flimsy undead. I've been enjoying, and all the units of renown. I actually have my mortis engine is actually a unit of renown, and if you can find them, I have a zombie unit, Cripple unit of renown. I have a zombie one that just got hit by a giant rock.
Yep, I think we're seeing them
right
now. Oh, yeah, yep, there we go.
They all have special abilities. They all have, most of them have like additional fear effects.
Right, which is kind of neat.
It's a way to make a low tier unit very versatile later on in the game.
Definitely, and I've definitely had some interesting times with getting regiments of renown during campaigns where I'll have like a really low army, and I'll be like under attack by someone, and will like, because it's my turn or whatever, I will just drop in a bunch of units of renown at once and like double the size of my army on the fly in the middle of like a combat scenario where I'm far away from you know, reinforcement.
Oh, I'm watching my vampire starting to cast its first spell.
Yep.
Try and soften up the enemy ranks before they get to. Also, looks like two of my units are already crumbling before the enemy even got hit.
Yep.
Looks like I wasn't really paying attention.
Nope. We have a lot of
focus.
Yeah, on my end we're getting lots of cavalry. We're getting some of these gore chariots knocking in some guys. The Gorbulls are hanging in there, whacking away at what they can. Oh, that unit of zombies is just... I mean, they're doing their job. They're definitely being fodder, and they're, you know, keeping them occupied, keeping them nice and packed in. But there are just so many beastmen. Ugh.
Yes, I'm watching one global standing in some of my graveyard, tearing them to shreds, kicking them left and right. Looks like we were going to go for the strategy of hold the line and let our ranks disrupt them.
Yeah, that's the vampire counts don't have a lot of anti-monstrous units, I've noticed. It's mostly like, you know, very dealing with like overwhelming units, and like a lot of times the monstrous units will be vampire count units.
True, but that's why they added the Blood Knights. The Blood Knights are anti-monster.
Oh, neat. So there you go.
I think it's the only high-tier unit they have that's anti-monstrous. Right now I'm watching my Blood Knights trying to get a sweep around towards some of these giants that are throwing boulders at us, but they're getting intercepted by some Centaur.
Oh, and if you're wondering why the Centaur that I'm focused on is on our side throwing, it's because I think I sold all of my spells this match, except for the Summon Centaur spell for my general, just because I felt like it. Because that's one of the things that I've noticed a lot, is using basically the mages that have different summon effects, and some of the commanders that have some summon effects. If you can double up on them, you can usually get like 1 or 2 summonable monstrous units, like namely the Centaurs, or in the Empire playthroughs that we've done, or will post eventually. We've had Manticores that we like summoned from units of regular guys. These giants are just standing in a little group, whacking away at my Gorbals over here. We got some spells getting cast over here.
I don't know if you can see this, but behind our main line is your Gorbal and one of their Gorbals just going at it, knocking each other over and over, knocking each other down.
Yep.
Quite
It's definitely a time. Oh man, there was some crazy. And I will say, like, I was surprised at how effective the Gorbals were, just from like I know they're a melee specialist, but they're one of the denser melee specialists when it comes to this game.
And true. Other melee specialists from other races have sometimes been lackluster, and these ones definitely are showing their prowess.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those. And then since this is a bit late coming out, we've also had the not just the Grim in the Grave DLC, which we've checked out quite a bit. I've tried the Empire units a lot, and I like all the additions, all the units of renown and stuff. But we've also had it's the King and the Warlord, I believe, DLC that just came out as well, and that's dwarves, goblins, just getting, I think it's Skarsnik, who's the head goblin war boss of Karak 8 Peaks, and I forget his, like, the dwarf's name, but I know that he's the head of the clan Angren, and he's a pretty good dwarf lord who, I think most of his benefits are the like campaign map benefits, where
Grombridle?
oh, Grombrindle is another free.
Grombrindle?
Yeah, Grombrindle's one of the free ones that we just got ourselves. And Grombrindle was a downloadable one. Everyone should be getting Grombrindle eventually, but I managed to stop by a Games Workshop shop and get some Grombrindle cards for the guys, and which is, I think, still a legitimate way to get the Grombrindle cards. So if you have a Games Workshop shop near you, that's how you get it. Is that your dead cart? Yeah, I'm looking at the remains of your cart.
The Mortis engine?
Yeah, it might be the Mortis engine, or it might be the corpse cart lying around. But whatever it is, it's broken, it's full of zombies, and it's funny.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's my general.
There you go, yeah.
General headfall.
Oh, there's your engine. Now all that's left... Now see, we had a valiant defeat with that one. I thought we won that one. That might have been a different one.
We did win that one.
Really?
Huh, must be the replay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've seen this where sometimes the replay is not quite as accurate.
See, when we did this the first time, viewers, we managed to somehow win this thanks to my Gorbals all maintaining themselves and, keeping at it. But that's okay. It's one of those. And then, let's see.
You'll just have to take our word.
Yeah, no, we did all right. We honestly, like the first time we won, honest. I'm gonna load up another one that we did, which features more prominently Imperial and also Vampire Counts units. We were going to have them face off against the Beastmen on this map, but we accidentally played it against Bretonnia, which was fine. Bretonnia had like a decent amount of ranged units for us to deal with and cavalry, which was sort of a challenge for us because we weren't, used to playing any of these together before, so it was sort of a touch and go.
I think we did all right considering we had never really practiced or done anything like that.
We made it work, I think. If I remember, we won this one as well, although you never know, the replay might mess us up.
Yeah, I think the ones we didn't win was when we had only a bunch of wizards and our initial skirmish against the 2 beastmen armies. I think out of the 4 battles, those were the 2 we lost.
That makes sense. Now, Pat, have you tried any of the Goblins and Dwarves DLC since it's come out?
I haven't personally played with it, but I have seen it in action. And the Dwarves definitely have a nice set of new Berserker-esque units and ranged units and new artillery. All things heavily associated with the Dwarves initially. And the Goblins have a very nice set of new units, most notably the deployable, like ones that you can have Vanguard deployment. Let me see if I can pull them up and see if I can see what the unit's called.
Of course. And with this one, we played, Pat's playing the Vampire Counts.
Nasty Skulker.
Oh yeah, the Nasty Skulkers are
very durable Goblin units.
Surprisingly durable, actually. Like, I've tried a little bit with them, and I've just been impressed by, number one, how durable they are. Number two, that stealth mechanic they have is just impressive. And the fact that they have armor piercing makes them great for messing up cavalry that are trying to flank you.
It's a very, very good unit. Of course, they have poor leadership like all Goblins, but armor piercing, Vanguard deployment, and hiding in tall grass and brush.
Yep.
Having that stealth mechanic. Very, very versatile.
Now, how do you feel about the squigs? Because I know the squigs, when I first mentioned them...
I was just about to get to them. They were... Okay, when I first saw them, I was very... I'm not a big procure of Warhammer material, so I had no context to these before seeing them. I thought they were silly little entertaining goblin cavalry that was a step up from the Spider Riders, which I love the Spider Riders. And then I saw the squids in action. They are also very durable. They are very strong against infantry, and they will eat dwarves whole when they get a killing blow. That's the best. That they are fantastic.
I've been very impressed with the whole squigs eating dwarves kind of deal. I've seen whole like games where it's like, oh hey, there's my general. Oh no, my general's been eaten by a squig, and it's like, ah, jeez.
They're also have poison attacks, which is very nice for a lot of the goblin units do have poison attacks. For fighting against armored units, it's very, very. I enjoy the squigs very much. I think they got some nice speed, and they're entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else we had. I know the dwarves.
Well, the goblins also got a bunch of units over now.
Oh yeah. The orcs also got
those units.
All those units of renown, which are kind of neat. I did like I hadn't realized this when I'd first been using it, but the Arachnarok spider queen, like they have a regiment of renown that's like the Arachnarok
unit
spider.
of renown version has a bunch of baby spiders that follow it around.
That can like summon it as like protection, which is kind of nice as like a bonus.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's one of the issues that everyone has already sort of had with the Arachnarok spider, where it doesn't it doesn't have like enough unit protection against like smaller units from keeping it like on. Like so you'll have like a unit of slayers come in and just like wreck it.
The it's really acts as like a Ragnarok spider really acts as like a giant shock monster shock, and the addition of the baby spiders makes it much more adept at holding its own in that, as opposed to just having a charge unit that has archers on top.
Right. So it's definitely one of those. I'm definitely interested in seeing what else they do. I've been talking a lot about like what future races they're gonna do, what future units they're gonna bring in from the games and stuff. It's really nice seeing Clan Angren and you know, Skarsnik in the game, as well as one of the other free LC champs that we got was for the Greenskins. Recently got Wurzag, the Great Green Prophet, and his whole deal is being like a weird orc magic user mixed with being a like savage orc leader. So like all of his guys are like savage orcs, which is really nice. I've had some fun playing as him on like the campaign and stuff, which I've really enjoyed. And I'm trying to think what else is coming out. I know recently...
And Skarsnik?
Yeah.
Skarsnik?
Yeah,
is the
Skarsnik.
one that came up with the, yeah. Have you played with him? Have you seen like, his unique set of abilities?
I haven't really played enough
like
of him. It's one of those things where I've honestly avoided the campaign map. I've avoided playing the campaign for both Clan Angren and Skarsnik just because it's one of those ones where you don't start off in a set like you don't start off in your base's home. The plot line for both of those campaigns is that you start in an area far away from your home, because both those groups are fighting over Karak 8 Peaks, and you have to traverse from essentially to the west of the Border Prince's territory, through the Border Princes, through the Orc lands, and then through some Dwarven holds to get to Karak 8 Peaks. Which, especially with like, and I think the two, like, it's easier for the Dwarves, I think, because like Clan Angren starts off with 4 Ghost Hero units, which is a great like bonus compared to all the other, you know, compared to starting off with whatever like normal units. Although he has like a crazy amount of upkeep when he doesn't control Karak 8 Peaks, so like all of his Dwarven units cost like way more to like maintain. And then I know Skarsnik. See, we lost this one too because the replay. Well, I can rest assured either we're lying or we won these battles before. But yeah, also Skarsnik has the same deal where his army can't have any orcs in it, until you have Karak 8 Peaks. So
I mean, come on, we all want full goblin armies, right?
The full goblins are a terrible idea normally, but like you have to.
Well, with nasty skulkers, it's definitely a lot more viable.
It's definitely a lot more viable just for how durable they are and how, like, compared to other goblin units, like the skulkers don't break as much. Honestly, it's one of those things where I've seen like skulkers hold their own, and then everyone like else is kind of like flaky goblin unit wise. But it's one of those things. And that's one of the reasons I haven't tried Skarsnik, is because I'm not the best at Warhammer. I've never, said that I've never thought of myself as the best. But it's one of those things where I know that like I'm still trying to get the hang of like how certain armies would like play out and like attacking with certain units at certain times and stuff. Now I've loaded up another replay, and oh yeah, just getting the tactics down of like everything. So I loaded up another replay for us.
Something definitely worth noting. Skarsnik.
Mm-hmm.
Skarsnik.
Yeah, you got it.
His name. He actually has a squig companion.
Oh yeah, Gobla.
Hops alongside.
I love that one.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a nice companion sort of creature thing. And my one complaint is that he can't use it as a mount, but that's okay. I understand.
He stands next to it as he eats his enemy.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'm okay with it.
But I've loaded up another playthrough, which I also decided to do mostly hero units, namely the Empire captains, as well as a single unit of spear infantry, which I was going to use as fodder for my mages, who I all have equipped with the Manticore spell, and we'll see if they use those. Pat again playing the vampires, doing a pretty standard vampire sort of setup with some our regiment of renown of crypt ghouls, the feasters in the dusk. Oh, man, they look gross. Some blood knights, because blood knights are cool, and another couple units back here with more of his melee units.
If I recall, it was a lot of Graveguard and
Mhm.
zombies. Try to, even out the numbers considering you only had wizards and I was fighting against trying to hold back 2 armies. So I
Yep,
think I had
and
a
you kept
lot
a
of
lot
cannon
of
fodder.
them near the back here. A lot of skeleton graveguard, a lot of skeletons with spears, and
I think the intent was to use that little hill to try and absorb some of the artillery
oh yeah,
heading over.
and I've really gotten into the mood of like a lot of times when I'm playing a game, I will use like any like little like rise or like copse of trees as like cover, or like to keep hidden. And the enemy is still
Yeah.
beastmen because we thought, hey, better fight the new DLC than with the old DLC. Here we go with some chariots knocking into these spearmen, because why not? I'm trying to think what I was going to say. Oh, and while we were discussing setting up this playthrough, we also had some news about the next couple of additions to the Warhammer universe, at least with Total War, because they were teasing that someone was going to come out, and a new race was coming out.
They showed us a picture of some.
And they showed us a picture of like someone went through the game files and found a like wooden door with like a tree around it, and basically everyone is thinking that it's going to be wood elves. So we can expect wood elves to be our next sort of army, new army, quote unquote. And then they're also working still on a campaign army set up for Bretonia. So we can expect regiments of renown for Bretonia, as well as probably some more legendary lords, things like that, which should be good. I mean, I've enjoyed, like, it's one of those things where I've seen a lot of discussion, multiple ways on different armies and races that they could bring into this game, because this game has done a very good job of keeping thematic and keeping some of the more interesting units and races involved. Like, I know a lot of people were talking about adding Skaven, who are the rat folk of this
I was
universe,
about to say,
especially with, like,
they were
Vermintide.
on the to-do list, especially with Vermintide being so popular at the time. They even mentioned ogres at one point. I can't really confirm or deny anything about.
Of course, see, we cannot say, like, yes or no specifically. Although I will say I've been a long-time fan of ogres. I've never played, like, the actual tabletop, but I've looked at some of the rules and stuff, and I've liked the themes and stuff of ogres. And I've just been impressed with, and if they did make an ogre army, that'd be great. Although I want to see how they do that, seeing as how the ogre army would be, like, 90% monstrous units. Like, even the infantry would be monstrous. So I don't know. Maybe they would do just as mercenary units that you could hire on, or something.
Like slaves of sort.
Could be. I don't know.
Like a slave unit. Like the crypt ghouls, the monstrous versions of the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they have the.
It's like a formation of large units with like 12 units instead of like 100.
No, I get that. I'm just thinking like you'd have an entire army of monstrous units, I guess is my point. Where, like, if they made ogre units like an army unto themselves, it would just be like, okay, here's an army of monstrous units, just, like, make sure all your units are anti-large and you're good. Like, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Oh, that's the
Yeah.
corpse of the manticore I sent out. Oh, well. He tried. Oh, but there's one in action.
So, which battle are you
Oh, we're doing the all wizards game.
on? The wizard one.
Because that was one of the few ones that I saved. What was neat about the whole point of the wizard strategy was I knew that the wild lore wizards had this spell that summons a manticore, and essentially it's you transform one of your regular units into a manticore, which is a unique bestial unit. I think they get used as a mount a couple of times by orcs, and so I decided why not just like max out like a handful of guys, and if I could recharge my mana fast enough, I could make multiple manticores. Because it's one per mage, so I wanted to make sure that it, sort of did something with that. It failed miserably. We died horribly. The beastmen just sort of overran us. I'm trying to think. Oh, we still have a handful of... Oh, no, never mind. They're all disintegrating. Yep, and there we lost. But that was a good fight, I thought. I thought we put it up a decent fight, even though most of the beastmen units are still up. But that's because the beastmen units are just so hardy,
especially an unusual army set.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely it's eclectic, but it does the job, and it's like if you mix it with a decent number of bestial units and like small guys to sort of distract, you're doing a pretty good job. Alright, so that's all we're going to do for today. Hope you enjoyed this. Definitely make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more, definitely, post some comments as to what videos you'd like to see. If you want us to even keep doing Total War Warhammer videos, we'll, maybe put out a few more, and we'll see how that goes. And, thoughts on just in general, Pat?
I'd definitely be happy if people were interested in watching some more of these. We could set up something more elaborate. We could do some more battles of varying types, or we could even do a highlight reel of a co-op campaign, something to that.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. And especially if we could get Harry to, once Harry gets a better computer, we can probably end up playing with him too.
And we can also do another video somewhat akin to this where we debut more of the new units, because other armies are much like how the humans, undead, or the Empire undead, goblins, and dwarves got a whole new set of a handful of new units and units of renown. I don't know if we really talked about the new dwarven units, like they have a bunch of crossbowmen now.
That's right. They have the crossbowmen. They have the fun thing about the crossbowmen. If you equip them with the great weapons, they throw the axes. So it's like a unit of dwarves that throw double-handed axes, which is impressive.
The rangers. Yeah. So we could do another video debuting those units in a battle. And as the other races inevitably get the same updates, we can do more videos on that if that's what people want to see.
So definitely let us know, and definitely follow us on Facebook at the Talkbox Podcast. This has been Zach and Pat, and we'll see you in the next one.